Friday the 13th, Part 2, takes place 5 years after the first film, and it follows a similar premise, and some actors from the original film, from the first film, have reprised their respective roles for this film. And it follows a similar premise, as I said, with an unknown stalker killing a group of camp counselors at a training camp near Crystal Lake. And the film marks the debut of Jason Voorhees as the series' main antagonist. So here's a fun fact. Originally, Friday the 13th Part 2, this film, was intended to be an anthology film based on the Friday the 13th superstition. However, after the popularity of the original film's surprise ending, the filmmakers opted to continue the story and mythology surrounding Camp Crystal Lake, a trend that would be repeated in every film in the franchise. So, the thing about, I'm going to keep saying this about all of the Friday the 13th movies going forward. I don't know about all of them, but most of them. Let's go with that. Most of these, I'm going to be repeating one thing about most of these Friday the 13th movies is that they all have the same premise. All right. A group of camp counselors go to Camp Crystal Lake. They're banging each other. They're getting it on, doing drugs, alcohol, shit that, kids do, that adolescents, teens do. And meanwhile, Jason Voorhees stalks them and kills them one by one, or whatever way he chooses. That's pretty much what all of these movies are. At least, with A Nightmare on Elm Street, if I had to choose between Friday the 13th or, Halloween, or Friday the 13th or A Nightmare on Elm Street, or Friday the 13th or Texas Chainsaw, or Friday the 13th, or Halloween. Did I say Halloween already? Anyway, if I had to compare this franchise, these movies with other movies and other slasher films, I would say the Friday the 13th is my least favorite. Like I said, that premise right there, the whole group of camp counselors, banging each other, and Jason kills them one by one. It's practically in every single movie. At least A Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Scream, Texas Chainsaw, Child's Play, even Child's Play, the Chucky movies. At least those movies have a story, have a plot that makes sense. Because the Friday the 13th movies, and yes, there will be spoilers about because these movies came out decades ago. So you had decades to watch the entirety of these movies. So yeah. At least those movies have something. They have a plot and they have good acting. Here, not so much. These movies. They're all pretty much, the same. A mad killer going berserk. I don't really know. The special effects were pretty good. The violence, the special effects, they were pretty good. It's scary, bloody, gross, and violent in a pretty good way. It's very effective, but not really much else not really much more I can say about Friday the 13th. But it is good to see the debut of Jason Voorhees in this film. The debut of Jason Voorhees with the back mask over his head. And we all know that the third film, Part 3, is the movie where he wears the iconic hockey mask. But yeah, nothing much I can say for Part 2, except, what I just said. It's just repetitive.